quick fire interviews to introduce you to funding opportunities. And right now, if you own a business and you are based in South Africa, the NEF is one of those organizations that is funding entrepreneurs. But I know a lot of you will say, some of you will say, I've tried and gotten rejected. So I am introducing you to a senior investment associate. This is Nomfundo Fagudze. How are you, sis?
I'm good, thanks, Buti. How are you?
Yes, let's talk about funding.
Yes.
How is the week been for you? I think we can start off there on a light note, Jay.
How has the week been for me?
This week been for you?
It's been quite a busy week in that I had to travel a lot. I've just come back from Cape Town. We're doing a due diligence on a tourism transaction in the Cape. So I got to see the beautiful sea, the mountain, had some good seafood.
Also, you do get holidays in these trips, no?
I wish. It's all work and a bit of play.
Okay, so talk to me. A lot of entrepreneurs have tried applying for funding, and a lot of the times it is frustrating for them because they get rejected, and they get rejected a lot. They say, we've tried CFA back then, we get rejected. Tried NEF, get rejected. Try ITC, get rejected. I think you are well placed with over 17 years experience in this.
Yes.
Talk to us. What's going on in the ecosystem? What are we getting wrong?
I think having been in the space for such a long time and having seen a lot of applications come through the National Empowerment Fund, as you'd know, our mandate is to fund black entrepreneurs to enable them to participate in the mainstream economy. So we get a lot of funding applications from those entrepreneurs that are black South African. And the success rate the success rate of us turning those around into successful transactions has proven to be quite difficult. It's a very low success rate. From what we see as a deal maker is that the packaging of transactions is a huge problem. The understanding of the different institutions and what their mandates are is also another problem.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you're saying entrepreneurs are not packaging the application the right way?
Yes.
What are they getting wrong? Are they asking for too much money? Are they not submitting information? Are they not compliant? What are the typical reasons that you see?
It's typically the things that you raise, compliance being one of the biggest ones, in that when you seek funding, you have to be a registered tax person with a tax clearance certificate that is, that says and proves that you're a law-abiding citizen and you pay your taxes.
All right, let's get compliance out of the way and look at NEF. If I'm coming to the NEF, what kind of funding am I applying for? What's available?
So first of all, as I said, our mandate is to fund black-owned businesses to enable black people to participate in the mainstream economy. And we do that through finance and non-financial instruments. So from the financial support, we've got 5 specialist funds that do an array of different things. We have Umnoto Fund that will focus on your contract financing and franchise financing. I'm with Umnoto Fund, where we deal more with your more complicated transactions such as acquisition finance, expansion finance, and new venture finance. Then you have the Rural and Township Fund that focuses on transactions that are in those specific areas.
So many!
Yeah, we've got 5 specialist funds. Then we've got the Women Empowerment Fund that runs across the different 5 funds that we look to fund businesses that are majority black or women owned and led. So you must be operationally involved in that business and it must be your business.
And how much are we looking at?
So our funding quantum across the spectrum is from 250,000 to 75 million rands.
So can you repeat the last part?
But to 75 million rands. Is it
there
too
are
small?
businesses that you funded over 50 million?
Yes, there are. Yes, we
What
have
do I
funded
need to
businesses
prepare? I
that are
need to
over
set my house
50
in
million.
order.
For instance, I funded a business that is in the mining space that was buying those big yellow plants. So you'd imagine that one would be 20 million, 50 million, some 100. So yeah, we do reach that point where we fund up to 75. But for bigger transactions, we try to syndicate with other financial institutions, or the DFIs, which is the development finance institutions, and government entities themselves. What we've seen is that because we haven't been recapitalized by the state, is that we've, through our transformation fund, raised third-party funds that assist us then to fund the different transactions that may be in the townships or maybe in agriculture, so that we pair that with concessionary funding or grants that would come from our third-party funds.
I like that you're saying townships. I will ask what kind of options you have for township-based businesses and entrepreneurs. But there's one question that I don't want to forget. What's the cost of this funding typically?
So NEF balance sheet, the cost of funding is prime linked, obviously, but we'll have a score card where we would then look at the NEF empowerment dividend, which then includes how broad-based are you, how black are you, how young are you, how female are you.
So it
And
gets
the
cheaper
geographic
if I'm
areas.
very black,
If you're
very
black,
female,
very
in a
female,
rural.
youth, yes, in a rural or township area, then the pricing is cheaper. But also we have then the concessionary funding, such as the Rural and Township Fund, where we have a 5 million loan, concessionary loan, that can be half of it will be a grant at 2.5 million, and then the balance priced anywhere from 1 to 5%.
That is quite cheap. You're much cheaper than the bank.
So when you blend it with the prime linked, depending on how black you are, then yeah, you're looking at
It
prime
works out quite nicely. At what stage should my business be before I think about approaching you? I assume if you're saying you start from 200 up, I can't just come if I'm getting started. If I started now.
Yes. I mean, I think inside they were talking about, do we fund proof of concepts, feasibility studies and the likes. We're not really into that. There's only one fund that would look into that, funding pre-feasibility studies. But those are more your manufacturing black industries transactions. But on the, what is the question, by the way?
Well, you covered the cost.
Yeah.
But I was looking at what stage my business has to be.
So, given
because
that,
you don't fund someone who's starting. So where do I need to be in my journey before I start thinking about the NEF?
Okay, got it. So, given our recapitalization issues, or that we haven't been recapitalized by the state because we had an allocation from the state every year, we had to be self-sustainable. So we have to fund businesses that we know will give us back the money. So we have the multiplier effect to fund other transactions and black people in the country. And therefore we look at transactions that will be able to demonstrate financial viability. If it's a new entity or a startup, you'd have to have some sort of offtake agreements that will then give us the comfort that the loan can be repaid. But yeah, we look for anything from startups with offtakes and then brownfields to matured businesses.
Okay, offtakes agreements will help. And then for township businesses, what options do you have?
Yeah.
Township-based businesses.
Yeah,
do you have like specific funding for them, or?
So we have this Township and Rural Fund that has the funding of up to 5 million that I spoke about. That has the grant of 2.5 million and then 2.5 million that's priced between 1 and 5%.
Oh, you mentioned a very good word for entrepreneurs, grant portion.
Yes.
In the funding that you give, if it's 20 million, is it all fully a loan, or there's going to be part there where you say, we're blessing you?
So it depends. So for instance, if the transaction is based in a rural area and they require 25 million for an easy number, then we'd use 20 million from the NEF balance sheet and then use the 5 million from the Rural and Township Fund, of which 2.5 million would be a grant, and then the balance would be a concessionary loan. So we blend it. Yeah.
You blend it behind the scenes so it works better for the entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Do you tell them in advance?
Yes. We do.
When you look at the work that you've done, what makes you proud about what the NEF is doing? Looking at some of the success stories, I'm sure you've got a few.
We've got a few. I mean, when you go to an area like Ladysmith, you'll find a beautiful boutique hotel that I funded myself, and I can a long time ago, but it's still standing. The president has gone to visit that place. Look at Tiktaboletu and you see that green brand, and seeing them do so well in the media. That's one of NEF investee companies. We've got a lady that actually does something that's, we were mind boggled when we did the due diligence. She does bulletproof vests. And she's a woman. It's a 100% black woman-owned business that does that for the security cluster in South Africa. So she's got a contract with the state, and she delivers on that for SAPS, for the soldiers, for BMF, the border management guards. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I think you like the black woman part.
Yeah.
And the
I love
funded
it. We love
myself.
the black woman part.
What happens if a business fails, though? I'm sure you've had instances like that.
We do have instances where it's natural. So when I mentioned the non-financial support, so once a transaction has been dispersed, it goes to a unit called the post-investment unit, where someone else then takes care of the transactions, monitors it, and see whether it's performing based on what would have written as a submission to the investment committee. And then, so then they classify them in the different risk profiles. Once you start paying, then you go move to another division that's called our turnaround and workouts, where we then try to resuscitate those transactions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, do you ever fund entrepreneurs who are blacklisted? That's another question that I cannot throw in there.
It will depend what would be the reason for the blacklisting. If the blacklisting is because of negligence or...
Let's say someone who had a business, it fell apart, their financials got messed up,
Yeah.
they rehabilitated themselves, now they're back and they've got really a good business.
Yeah.
Everything in front of you is good and says, yes, fund him, but fund him or her. But 5 years ago, they messed up and
But
the credit score got...
But we've seen those cases.
Yeah.
We've seen those cases, but you'd have to rectify that problem, and we'd have to then see communication with whichever creditor you would have been owing, and see how you're fixing that, or whether you have payment terms to address that default. So we have looked at that in the past,
so you
but
can
there has
look
to
at
be proof to show us that you did remedy the situation.
Okay. I think last question from me, what are you personally looking forward to in your journey, in your career, with this amazing organization with a lot of millions to give?
Oh my goodness. Mom is the one. My employer to be mad at me. I think eventually having my own fund, I look forward to that, to raising my own funds and funding women-owned transactions. I think that's where my passion lies.
How do people apply? Website?
www.nefcorp.co.za. That's where you can apply.
We'll throw in the link to the NEF in the description of this video.
Yes, thank you.
But I'm sure if you've got more questions, pop them in the description. We'll throw in another interview. If we can answer in the description, we'll answer you in the comments. But otherwise, thank you. See you in the next episode. There's more funding opportunities coming your way.